I think the light makes my face look so shiny. What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Thesis, aka Thesis himself from Vaping with Thesis. That's right, God bless it. Now look, bitch, it's okay, Smother Truckers. Now today we're gonna be doing some battery safety 101, essentially rewrap. Today I went to Home Depot and I got myself a heat gun. Huge shout out to my boy Mark at he's the hardware section. He's a fan of the channel and he hooked it up with super fat with a discount. Much appreciation, bro. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate the fuck out of it. Swig of bams. Okay, Smother Truckers. Now fuck the small talk. With that being said, let's go and get up close and personal with battery rewrap, son. Okay, Smother Truckers. Now real quick, today we have got battery safety 101. One of the easiest ways to short out a battery and have a dangerous situation is by having a cracked or messed up wrap on a battery. With that being said, I also want to note that this is not just applicable to vaping. This is applicable to anything that uses an 18650, 26650. It doesn't matter the battery type. As long as you know how to rewrap a battery, you should do so on any battery you're using in any external application. Anytime you get a wrap that's cracked, you do run the risk of it shorting out, which is always a dangerous situation. With that being said, the best way to prevent it is by doing exactly what I'm doing here, but do so in a safe environment. 9 times out of 10, I recommend doing this in your shop. However, I am using a heat-resistant mat and it shouldn't be an issue. With that said, first and foremost, you're going to need yourself a set of wraps. I always recommend going with a little bit more expensive set of wraps that are super stretchy. They're kind of rubber-like. The biggest reason being is because when you're using something like this that's cheap plastic and it just kind of rips, this is exactly what's going to happen. And when that happens, you run the risk of shorting out a battery. So these bad boys right here were like 20 bucks for a set of 500 or 1,000. I don't remember how many were in the pack. Cheapest insurance you can get. You're going to, of course, need yourself a marker. The biggest reason is because you're going to want to rewrite the date that you had purchased the batteries as well as the date that you rewrapped them. And of course, you're going to want to throw on the brand and or the make of the battery specifically. And then, of course, you're going to need yourself a source of heat. Me personally, I'm using this Milwaukee cordless heat gun, and I want to give a huge shout out to Mark at Home Depot. He is a part of the NinjaMilitia. He is a fan of the channel. With that being said, thank you for hooking me up with the heat gun, bro. This is optional. You're going to see what I do with the knife in a second. It's just easier to pull apart the two sides of the wrap. With that being said, my Ninja Kitties, that's about it. Let's go and start the actual rewrap process. Now, just for organization purposes, what I tend to do is use the same color on a set of the same batteries. So for example, if I got 5 sets of batteries from March of 2018, I'm gonna use the exact same color on all of those batteries. Period, plain and simple. And I wanna make sure that I'm using the same brand on each one. Just that way I don't get it mixed up, especially over time. If this rubs off, you don't want that to be confusing and using separate pairs of batteries. You guys are gonna see how brittle this plastic is on these 18650s. Again, I enjoy Home Tech a lot. Biggest issue I have with them is their wraps. So then what I do with the knife is I simply just stick it in between the wrap itself, and that way it's easier to pull open like this. So then I hold it open, I slide it in just like a condom, and I want to leave just a few millimeters on either side, and that way it has a bit of room to clamp down on the top and the bottom. Next thing to do, of course, is then heat it up. Now, of course, before I start the heat gun, I want to make sure that you guys know, keep this out of the way. You don't want these shrinking on, you want accident. And then on top of that, make sure that whatever surface you're using is either going to be heat resistant or is not going to catch fire. And that goes without saying. I just want to make sure that I'm extremely clear about that. Okay, so my Ninja Kitties, I'm going to start with the bottom, and then I'm going to do the top. Then I'm going to run my way up and down either side of the seams, just like that. And then after I do that, I'm going to go one more time up and down on every side, like a 360. Now, the eagle-eyed viewers are going to notice I did something a little bit backwards. I forgot to write down the dates, and I forgot to write down the make of this battery before I actually inserted it into the sleeve. With that being said, that's not a problem. As long as you know exactly which one you're holding, it shouldn't be an issue. Now, for this set, what I'm going to do to just make sure that I keep them together is I'm going to put 1W dash. So that's how I know these two batteries specifically are going to be the ones that are married. These will not be separated. Okay, Smother Truckers. Now, with that being said, that is super simple. That's basically my process on rewrapping. I hope y'all Ninja Kitties enjoyed that shit. With that being said, Mother Truckers, let's go and get back to regular view, son. Welcome back to Regular View, son. Okay, so my final summation is this. If you or anybody you know sees anyone that's got cracked wraps on their batteries, the best thing you could possibly do for them is let them know not only how to rewrap them, but point them to a video. It doesn't even have to be this one. The biggest issue I see, especially from back in the day, is when people carry around extra batteries with their keys in their pocket. That's one of the worst things you can possibly do. You can definitely short a battery that way. So that's just not something you want to see. It's not something I want to see, especially in our industry. We already got the mainstream media against us. The last thing we need is to see more people shorting shit out. And again, of course, this does not just apply to vaping. This also applies to flashlights. It applies to cordless drills, anything that's inside of those boxes. Those are all 18650s, or at least 9 times out of 10 they are. Okay, Smother Truckers. Now with that being said, I want to tell y'all that I appreciate y'all for vaping with Thesis. It is your boy Thesis. I'm out. Hi. Ow, you motherfucker.